Hey, this is your girl, Michelle.
And this is Mariah, also known as Mariah Amazing.
And you are tuned into Melanin Voices. Hey.
Hi, everyone.
Hey. So, let's get into Melanin Media, like we always do.
Yes.
And I think we have some great Melanin Media for today because BET Awards was on this week. So, we get to talk about all the great things that happened at the BET Awards, the drama, the fashion, and overall, like, just the entertainment and stuff like that. So, first thing we want to talk about is the altercation between Migos and Joe Budden, which I was cracking up about. I was on the train rewatching the video over and over again. I was cracking up.
Me too.
Right. What did you think when you seen that?
It was confusing to me because how I seen it originally was it seemed as though Joe Budden was trying to wanted to be done with the interview because he wasn't really feeling them. So then they got upset, like, why are you trying to cut us off? Why are you acting like that? But then somebody explained it in a whole nother way, and I'm like, oh, it could have been that way, I guess, but that's not how it came off initially. Some guy explained it to be the guy who was interviewing them, saying that he wasn't included into the verses on the song. He was the one that was originally shading them, and Joe Budden was trying to end the interview because he was annoyed that the guy was trying to kiss her ass afterwards. But I was like, I didn't take it that way. I took it as that Joe Budden was like annoyed altogether with interviewing them, and as everybody else did too. But I don't know what really happened, but it did seem that way. So that's why, obviously that's why they thought that Joe Budden was trying to shade them.
I think something happened previously between the two that maybe words were said. But I think Joe Budden was like, these niggas is lame and they need to be like, can we cut this real quick? Because it was all over his face. Like when he was when they were talking, he was like putting his chin down, like staring at him all weird. Like, I thought it was hilarious. And then he dropped the mic. Oh, but y'all one of my favorite groups. And he was probably thinking, because I think Joe Budden, he's very deep, right? So I think he thinks it's a group like Migos to be a joke. So when he said, oh, y'all one of my favorite groups, Joe Budden was like done with him. Like, nah, bro. Like these niggas is lame compared to what he considers to be like rap music or rap artists. He would not probably put Migos like even in his top 3 or top 2. So I think that's why. And Joe Budden, he just can't hold back being like no filter. Joe Budden has no filter at all. Like, he can't hide that. And I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, I know. That's what I took from it too. Everybody else did too. So I was like, okay. I was like, okay, well, that's interesting.
Right.
I mean, it was bound to happen because, like you said, Joe Budden has his views on rap, and obviously Migos doesn't seem to fit his quote of what rap should be for him. So that's that. But moving on. My favorite look was Cardi B on the red carpet because I don't know, I just love her glow up. I feel like she deserves to win. Like we've seen her struggle, we've seen her progression, we've seen her just level up in a way that we're like, she's like our family. Like we're just so happy for her and just wanting to see her strive for greatness. And so I feel like she deserves everything that's coming for her.
Yeah, same. I also thought that Lala's outfit was super cute. I think she's been showing out all the time since, I feel like ever since her and Carmelo had their situation. I think Lala has just was like, you forgot who I was, let me show you who I am. And she's been bad ever since. Right. Like that dress she had on was only for Lala. Like I don't know who else could really rock that dress and just be natural in herself. So I love that dress. Yes,
she looked good, and yesterday was her birthday too. So yeah.
Go put your birthday suit on.
Put that birthday suit on, girl. She was very nice. I have to agree.
Okay.
Also, Escape got back together.
Yep.
Recently, and they're actually going to be at the Essence Music Festival. But they did their first performance for all of us at the BET Awards last night, and I think they did such a great job. They all looked amazing. Like, I liked their performance for sure.
You should have seen me. I had the remote. I turned the music all the way up because those are I still play Escape's Pandora radio station because they have one of the best radio stations on Pandora. And I was jamming out. I love all their songs. It's just, when Tiny hit that hit that part and understanding, I felt that. I felt like she was real talking to T.I. for real. Because that's what, like, it took me back. As soon as she said those words, I could just picture her when they were sitting down at that table in their episode, and she was trying to get him to understand exactly where she was coming from, and all she needs some understanding. And when she started, I was like, yo, I felt that. Like, she was talking to him through the TV, through her performance.
Oh, so she had to be.
They did a really good job. I know people always gonna have something to say, but I think they did a great job for their first performance, kind of back in the scene.
Oh, absolutely. I'm actually kind of sad that I won't be at the Essence Music Festival this year because I wanted to see them. Like, dang, that would have been amazing to see them back together.
Right.
They all look great.
Essence Festival is like one of my things on my to-do list. I never been to New Orleans either. And
Me neither.
It's like one of my spots I need to go and visit. Yeah. So Essence Fest next year, turn up.
Yes, hey. Definitely. I'm so serious too because I haven't been to New Orleans and I've heard so many great things. And I know I would love it there.
Right.
But moving on to today's hot button topic. If all your exes were in a room, what would they say about you? So basically, let's say all your exes are put into a room like a little booby trap. And you know, they all had to come to an agreement about one thing or a few things about you. What do you think they will all agree upon about you?
Do I have to go first?
Yep. Glad you asked, Michelle. Yes, you do.
I want to go first. Okay.
Fine. You got to.
Okay. If my exes were in the same room, they would say that this is really hard, Mariah. I really, really don't know. What would they say? Do I have to go first? Can you go? Can you go first? Because I need some time to think about this. Like, I didn't.
It don't have to be anything negative. Know. It could be good.
Okay, go first.
Fine. I'm going to go first. Me neither. I didn't think about it either. Okay. If all my exes in the room, what would they come to an agreement about? Let's see. I think that they would agree that I am huge on communicating. I always want to talk about everything. So if something's going bad, I honestly can sense when something's going bad. And I'm not going to let you leave the room or situation or atmosphere or whatever without talking to me about what's going on. So they would be like, you just push. When the situation doesn't need to be pushed, you still push. So I think that's what they would agree on, that I'm super big on communicating, and sometimes it could be my detriment. I won't let them just relax. I still want to talk about it. That's one thing for sure.
Okay. Mine is I'm a control freak, I guess. And I like to be in control over every situation. And it's always Michelle's way or the highway. And this is always, it's always who I've always been this way. Always. And they probably would be like, they'll probably say she should take a back seat or whatever when I'm not that type of person. I've always gotten criticized, even in my past relationship, is, oh, Michelle, Black Power, woman feminist. Like, he would make fun of me for saying stuff like that. But I just think that was just something where me and him just didn't match. Because if you don't like this Black woman feminist, then, hey, it's not my fault. So, anyway, I think it's more of like a control thing, and being just an activist for some men, that's something that they just can't, they don't want. Like, some men just don't want that. They want to be feeling in control over their relationship, and I think that's just the society's pressures that we put on men. And then me being a Black woman also put an extraness to it. Like, I'm pretty sure if I wasn't Black, it wouldn't be as bad. But since I'm a Black woman and I'm brown skinned, it puts a little bit more extra to the stereotype. So that's one two things.
Absolutely. If he didn't like you being pro-black and feminist, I don't see how that would work at all, since that's who you are. So that's good that y'all are no longer together, because that wouldn't have worked out at
Found
all.
someone who liked this feminist stuff sometime.
But do you agree with what they said?
I agree. Yeah. I agree in some aspects. That I could go a little overboard with the. Actually, no. I agree to some extent. I don't have to be as controlling. I know that's a big thing. Is like I learned in my marriage that I do. There are times where I do need to take a back seat in the relationship, and all leaders must follow too. And sometimes I forget that. Like, being a follower is also a key characteristic of being a leader. And I've realized that I've been leading all my life because I'm the oldest in my family. And that's all I've ever done was lead. And that's all I've ever known. But now that I'm in a relationship, in a marriage, that there's some things where I can't lead on everything. And it did bother me in the beginning.
Yeah. I can see that, because obviously in the marriage is the partnership. So you have to I guess step back a little bit. So I can see how that would change out a little bit. For the better though. For mine, I think that I'm still the same way. I'm still wanting to talk about it.
Yeah, definitely.
So yes, I do agree. And I still want to talk about things. I just feel like, why do you have to go to bed upset? Let's just talk about why you're mad, and then you can try to fix it. And if not, then I can give you your space. But I want to know why I'm giving you your space. Why am I giving you your space? Can we fix it? Okay, cool. Let's fix it. If you can't, I'll give you your space.
Because men need space, Mariah.
Yes, and that's what I'm working on. But sometimes women need space too, not just men. But also, I just feel like it has to be understanding as to why I'm giving you space. Don't just ghost me for a few days and come back around like, oh, I'm sorry, I just needed my space. No, let me know hey, I need to take time out for this reason. Because if you just go ghost or whatever for a couple of days, or just stop speaking to me altogether because you needed your space and that wasn't communicated, then now I'm thinking that my mind goes to the worst thing that could possibly happen. I don't know what you're doing for those couple of days without speaking to me, and you come back around. I don't know what you could have been doing. If you would have just told me from jump, hey, I need my space because, this upset me or this angered me, I just need some time to think about things, think things through, then sure, I wouldn't mind giving you your space. But don't just go ghost and then come back around a few days later hey, what's up? What's good? I needed my space. I'm back, though. Because I'm going to just feel a certain type of way.
Right.
That's just how you do it. Just how you do it.
I get exactly what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah. I was just telling Jeff that don't wait. I told him, I said, don't wait until you erupt to tell me that we need space, or we need to kind of get out of each other's face. If you see that, there should be time where you go and do your thing, I go and do my thing, and then we come back together and we're good. But don't wait until it's to the point where you can't stand the sight of me, or you can't stand my voice, or want to hear me talk about certain things, because then that's what makes the situation worse and end up making the argument more than what it should be, when all we needed was just a little bit of space and just come back together and we'd be good. But I think space is definitely important. It's definitely important. So, Mariah, so with your exes, why? Okay, so your past relationship, why did you guys break up? Was it communication?
My past, I think it was a lot to do with that, and I don't know, I'm just super affectionate person. When I'm with somebody, I'm very affectionate, and I like to, be hugged, and all this, I just like to be, I like to be affectionate. And if I don't feel like I'm getting that affection, or if I feel like I have to force it, or I just feel like it doesn't come freely, then I kind of ease back a little, because I feel like in a relationship, if I feel like you don't want to be affectionate with your partner, then why are y'all together? So that's one of the reasons why. And then also, the communication aspect.
So
Yeah.
okay, so he would say the same
Yeah,
thing.
he would definitely agree that. Yeah, he would say the same thing that the communication, I should have not been so pressured for communication. I should have definitely eased up a little bit, pull the reins back a little, and let him, get some space after certain situations or certain disagreements. I could have held back a little bit from communicating right away after those disagreements. So I can agree to that. Like, yeah, some people do need their space after a disagreement or a fallout. I can agree.
Would it be something where you're like, I'm sorry, I can fix it, let's get back together, or it's like, oh, it's too late, I can't do anything about it?
There's a lot of other components to it too, but it could be fixed. I believe it could be fixed if it wanted to be fixed. I just felt as though it didn't want to be fixed on their side of things. And then that caused me to be like, okay, well, if you don't want it to be fixed, then, I'm going to have to go
Okay, got
my
you.
way.
Okay. Got you.
Yeah. You know?
Mm-hmm. That's true. I'm trying to think what mine's is that I did a lot of compromising in a lot of my relationships where maybe I was showing a lot of who I really wasn't in the relationship. And what ends up happening is as I'm growing and I'm coming into the woman that I am, they start to notice, like, or even I begin to notice, why am I dealing with this? Or why am I messing with this person when they showed me these X, Y, and Z things that I clearly don't like? But because I wear my heart on my sleeve sometime, or I love and care about the person, then I end up compromising way too much in my relationship. So what ends up happening, most likely probably from my past relationships, is that I end up either breaking their hearts because I hold on and I'm not really in it for the long run, or I end up just being ruthless and just not caring anymore towards a relationship that showed me that the person is no longer loyal, or no longer the person who I thought they were in the beginning of the relationship. So I end up being in a tough place, always a rock and a hard place when it comes to my past relationships with stuff like that. So they'll probably say like, "Oh yeah, Michelle's a cool girl. Like she was down for, whatever. She was chill, definitely wifey type." I mean, I told her I was marrying type several times in my relationship, and a lot of dudes said that they wasn't ready for that. So I know that's just some stuff that's been my exes would probably say about me. I have no idea though. They probably would say like she's terrible, terrible person, evil.
I feel like, yeah, I agree with that aspect of compromising too much. I feel like I did the same thing many times. I felt like I was just giving a little bit too much, that I wasn't getting anything in return. I didn't even realize I wasn't getting anything in return. I was just doing. And then I was like, wow, I'm not getting nothing in return, or I would feel uneasy to ask. And now I'm like, I'm not feeling uneasy to ask you for the things that I'm doing for you. Like, relationship should be 50-50. You should meet me halfway here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you should want to, and I shouldn't have to feel like, oh, I shouldn't ask for this. No, I should definitely be able to communicate that. I felt like I was promising too much, because I was like, okay, they don't want to communicate that much. Let me ease back on communication altogether. So that's where I didn't find a happy balance. But now I have a happy balance. If I feel like a need should be met, I'm definitely not scared to address it now. But I was back then. So I'm glad that part has changed as far as communication goes.
I think I've grown too in the aspect of going into my relationship knowing exactly what I want and not settling for anything less than that. Going in to say like, this is who I am and this is who I'm always going to be. And if you just don't embrace that about me, then it's just let's move on. Like, let's be on to the next. Like, I don't want to waste anybody's time who's one, not invested in me, and two, who just doesn't love the woman that I am right now. and maybe doesn't see the potential growth of the woman I can potentially be. So I learned that from just dealing with my exes is don't compromise. Show them exactly who you are, and as soon as they start to change, then move on. I also found myself dealing with bull mess when I'm thinking. I always keep thinking that my life is, I don't have time. I keep thinking I'm running on this clock, and I'm like, oh, I'm about to graduate from college. I don't have that much time left. What am I going to do when I'm going? When I have so much more of my life left, where I end up making a lot of poor decisions with past relationships that, lo and behold, I found someone outside of college. Like, who would have known that would have happened? And it's just thinking, stop running on this time clock that we think that we have, and just live in the moment. Stop looking at the time and thinking that things are not going to work out because it's not happening when you think they're going to happen. They're going to happen when it's time, and don't focus on forcing yourself to do too much because of that. And I think that's something I learned and embraced when I found someone, outside of college. And I'm still young, yes, but everyone's time is different. And yeah, so
Right.
I think that's
Yeah.
good to know.
That is good to know, because I feel like society always pressures women, like, have kids young. Like, obviously there's, some deeper things that you have to consider when you have children older. But for the most part, if you have children at 30, 35, you're not a terrible person. You're not a bad, you know what I mean? Like, it's not bad if you decide to wait. And most times I feel like some people should wait to have kids because, honestly, you have more patience. You're not as selfish. Not to say everybody's selfish and when they're younger. But I, myself personally, I don't think I would have the patience to have children right now. I know I don't have the patience right now to have children. I just know I don't. I can babysit them all day. I'm such a great babysitter. You can leave your kids in my hands. Mariah loves the kids. But to have my own child 24/7 is a whole different ball game. I don't think I have the patience to do it. So, my time clock is maybe different from another woman who says, who probably, grew up around younger kids all the time and feels that she can have children at 21, 22 and be a great mother. And that's okay, because we're all different. And I don't think that if you wanted to wait to have kids that you're a bad person or anything like that, or, yeah, I feel like we just got to stop comparing ourselves to everybody else's life. Like you were saying, basically, I 100% agree with what you're saying.
Exactly. Stop running on other people's time. Just stop running on other people's time. Like, women, we run so much, even on men's time. There's so many times where I hear my friends say, or even excuse for other women where they say, he wasn't ready. It wasn't time for him. He still needs to get his player stuff out the way. Like, it's his time. No. Stop being on his time. Stop being on her time because you see that they're doing something different in their relationship, or she's moving in this way, or he is moving in a certain way. Stop running on everyone else's time and run on your own time. Like, what your past is doing, or what your friends are doing, or even what it's a time thing. And I'm just tired of hearing people running on everyone else's time but their own. And I think when you start focusing on your time and what you need to do and what you need to invest in, the other stuff just falls in place. I'm pretty sure it falls in place. The moment you stop worrying about everyone else is the moment everything falls in place specifically for you, and the time happens when it's supposed to. Period.
Yeah, I agree. Like, you gotta kind of realize, it's okay to do things at your own time space. Also, I feel like once you can, compare yourself to others, because obviously that's a form of comparison. You compare yourself to others, that's like a detriment to your own success, because now you're measuring it by when they did it, and you don't know what happened, years back or the day before. So, I don't know. You just, I think, gotta just, go at your own time space, whatever that may be, But yeah, I think this is pretty
exactly. Not your old flames. Forget what your old flame thinks.
Unless it can help you out. Like if you was crazy and mentally crazy.
I don't know. I don't care what my ex say about me though, honestly. There's a part of me that's just like, I don't care what you say.
Right. Absolutely not. Unless it's like you would help on the long run, like if they say something like right. You were hella.
So let's get into Snapchat combos.
Okay. Well, Snapchat combos. Of course, you have one from our Rachel. Rachel and Angel are probably about to be my favorite people because they're always responding to what I have to say. Her artist name is Soul Child, and like I said before, her Snapchat name is Soul Child, SEOUL_child, as in child. And so she said they would say that that she was a great woman, a ride or die, and crazy as F for love. Oh, and that and that she got some bomb nana. And then she also said, but she's obviously not sure because she's dated liars, so you know how that goes. And then, another question that I asked is, have you improved since then? And she says, definitely. Her man is 10 times finer and smarter, and I think I've also improved in my self-confidence. I used to be verbally abused by my ex, and now I don't give a fuck what anyone has to say about me, unless it's true. I've embraced my skin, body, and hair on a whole nother level, and I feel beautiful, and that's my biggest improvement, in which I truly believe my man and I are together. Through self-confidence and self-fullness. That is cute. And so that was her response to my Snapchat conversations. And we also have one from a guy, Michael.
Okay, you need your ex to change you. They're necessary.
Absolutely. In some aspects, they definitely are. Like, definitely can level up knowing that what you once had, definitely don't want to go back to that, so you can level up and be like, hey, I'm kind of all that bullshit. I'm not even accepting that no more. So that's definitely a level up. We got one from a guy, Michael, and his Snapchat name is MoneyMichael719. And he only answered one of my questions, which was, the first question was, what would your exes say about you if they were all in a room together? And his was that he's the best, of course. So that's what he said. And that was his response. And he didn't give any answers to the other questions I asked. So I'm like, you didn't really go into detail. But that's that. Those are Snapchat conversations for this time. If you would like to chime in, definitely go to my Snapchat, which is Mariah_amazing. And, every Monday, I always, go ahead and ask the questions and you can have some time to respond to them. And let us know what you think about our next topic. Okay, so Black Business of the Week. I'm going to go into that. And it's from one of my favorite people in the entire world, Miss LaRae Scott Jennings, who I call Auntie LaRae because I just love her. She's our high school advisor, and I don't know where I would be without this lady. But her name is, sorry, why did I say her name is? Obviously, it's LaRae Scott Jennings, but her business name is non-existent right now. She doesn't have a business name. She's actually just doing this for the love of doing it. So I'm just going to say it's LaRae Scott Jennings Bakeries. How about that? And she does amazing, amazing cakes. She does birthday cake. She does baby shower cakes, wedding cakes. Any kind of cake you want, she does it and executes it very well. It tastes great. It looks great. She has great customer service. And if you are in the Denver area and you want a cake made, please contact her to get some great quality bakes. She does cupcakes, cakes, all kind of pastries. So if you want something done for an event, hit her up, please. Her name is LaRae Scott Jennings. You can find her on Facebook. And let her know that we sent you because this is a great Black business and something that's so close to home. I love Miss LaRae.
Yeah, so, me too.
Yeah. And that wraps up our Black Business of the Week. Do you have anything else to say, Michelle?
No, but I do. Just a little bit. I do think this was a great topic because it does show a lot of growth, and I think it does bring a lot of awareness to just some of the relationships that we're in and the importance of just learning and growing from each and every single one of them, and just knowing that this is just one experience that I can just put on my resume and I can just grow from.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely think that it's a growing phase. Obviously you don't have to take everything what your ex say. You can take it as a grain of salt, but if it's something to change and for the better, I definitely feel like why not make that change, so I think this was a great topic and this was a great episode. It sucks that it was so short, but we got straight to the point this time, y'all, and we didn't have much melanin media. So please, 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 once again, follow us on Facebook at Melanin Voices. Our Twitter is Melanin Voices as well, and pretty much everywhere you can find us, Melanin Voices. And I'm so excited to be going to New York in like 2.5 weeks for Curl Fest. And I hope that if you guys are going, say hi to us. Stop me, Michelle. We would love to see everybody there. If you are in the New York area and you do listen to Melanin Voices, we would love to hear some feedback and meet you. So yeah, that is all. Thank you all for tuning in. And we will see you, well, not see you, but you will hear us next time on the next episode of Melanin Voices. Thank you all for tuning in once more. And it's at Audi for us. Later, everybody.